is Grammar Express. In the Global Learners class, you'll learn grammar by watching some videos and finishing some activities before class. You can rewind and rewatch a video as many times as you like and come back to class with questions. This way of learning gives you the ability to learn more independently, and it's called Flipped Classroom. Let me first show you a video introducing some simple ideas about Flipped Classroom.
This is a classroom. The teacher stands at the front, and the students watch and listen. You'll recognize this because it's probably how you were taught and how your parents were taught before you. But there are a lot of problems with this approach to teaching. You see, not all students learn at the same speed, so some get left behind. And while some students learn better by listening, others may learn better by doing. This means that teachers can't always do the best job they can, but there is another way. The flipped classroom addresses these problems and makes learning more personal. First, the teacher makes a video that delivers the content they'd usually teach in class. Then they share it online with students who can watch it before the next lesson. This leaves the teacher free to spend class time leading activities that help students apply the knowledge. Students can rewind and re-watch a video as many times as they like and come back to class with questions for the teacher. So keeping up with the class is no longer an issue. Students can access the video at any time using mobile devices, giving them the ability to learn more independently. Instead of sitting and listening, students can spend class time applying knowledge in more practical ways. And teachers are free to spend their time working with students and giving them individual support and attention. The flipped classroom model is already making a difference to students and teachers worldwide, so get involved. Discover more at flippedinstitute.org and become part of the movement.
After watching the video about Flipped Classroom, let's get back to our grammar learning. The textbook you need is this, ESAR, Fundamentals of English Grammar. In this episode, we're going to be talking about simple present and present progressive. And you will learn some of the important ways to use these two verb tenses. We use the simple present to talk about daily habits, usual activities, and general statements of fact. Let's look at some examples of each of these uses. For daily habits, we can use sentences like, Jill eats lunch every day. I wake up at 6 o'clock. My mom goes to work by car. We can also use simple present to talk about usual activities. When using the simple present, we often use adverbs of frequency to talk about how frequently we do things. For example, my parents go to church every Sunday. I usually study English on Wednesday. Our teacher always gives us a lot of homework. For general statements of fact, we use simple present to talk about universal truth and general facts. So we don't say babies will cry, birds will fly. We say babies cry, birds fly. The sun rises in the east. The moon goes round the earth goes round the sun. The simple present is used for things we do regularly in the past, present, and future. Now let's move on to the present progressive. We use it when we are talking about an activity that is happening right now. Things that the speaker is doing when he is saying the sentence. For example, I am teaching grammar right now. You're watching the video right now. I can't talk now. I'm playing the guitar. The present progressive describes an event that began in the past, is happening now, and will probably continue into the future. Now let's take a look at the form of the simple present. We form the simple present by using a subject and a main verb in its base form. For example, I work, you cook, they think, he eats, she runs, it needs. What's different in the last three sentences? They have an S at the end. Why is that? Well, that's what we call the he, she, it rule, which means if you have he, she, it as a subject, the following verb needs an S. So if you see a name, for example, Paul, then it's a he. Mary, then it's a she. A cat, then it's an it. If we want to make a negative sentence, we can add do not or does not. And we can put them together, add an apostrophe. This is an apostrophe to make a contraction, like doesn't or don't. A contraction is when you put two words together to make one shorter word. Next, let's make a yes-no question. We need a helper verb to make a yes-no question. But in this sentence, we don't have a helper verb. We have the subject, he, and the main verb, watches. What we do is to put the helper verb, do or does, in front of a sentence. And it becomes, does he watch TV on weekends? Do we sleep for 7 hours every night? We form the present progressive by using a subject plus a be verb is MR and verb with ing. The be verb is the helper verb and the verb with the ing is the main verb. You need both of them to make the present progressive. But if you only have the verb ing but no be verb, it's not the present progressive. If we want to make a negative sentence, we can add not and we can put be verb and not together. Add an apostrophe to make a contraction, like isn't or aren't. So, to make a yes-no question, you just need to take the helper verb, which is the be verb, and move it to the front of a sentence. So, it is snowing now becomes, is it snowing now? As we all know that questions starting with do, does, with be verb are yes-no questions. So the answer for that is yes or no. But remember, for something else, we need a subject plus the helper verb. So the answer to does Cheryl like yogurt would be Yes, she does. No, she doesn't. Are Jean and Ollie teaching? Would be, yes, they are. No, they are not. No, they aren't. Now let's review.
Exercise 6, page 5. Example, you will hear, Irene works for a video game company. You will choose usual activity. 1,
Irene designs video games.
2,
She is working on a new project.
3,
She is sitting in front of her computer.
4,
She spends her weekends at the office.
5,
She's finishing plans for a new game.
Exercise 9, page 6. A problem with the printer. Example, you will hear, is the printer working? You will write, is. 1,
Does it need more paper?
2,
Does it have enough ink?
3,
Are you fixing it yourself?
4,
Do you know how to fix it?
5,
Do we have another printer in the office?
6,
Is it my imagination or is it making a strange noise?
Exercise 33, page 21. Part 1. At the doctor's office. 1,
Do you becomes do you? Do you have an appointment?
2,
Does he becomes does he? Does he have an appointment?
3,
Does she becomes does she? Does she have an appointment?
4,
Do we becomes do we? Do we have an appointment?
5,
Do they becomes do they? Do they have an appointment?
6,
Am I becomes my? My late for my appointment?
7,
Is it becomes zit? Zit time for my appointment?
8,
Does it becomes zit? Zit hurt?
Part 2. Example. You will hear, do you want to tell me what the problem is? You will write, do you? 1,
Do you have pain anywhere?
2,
Does it hurt anywhere else?
3,
Does she have a cough or sore throat?
4,
Does he have a fever?
5,
Does she need lab tests?
6,
Am I very sick?
7,
Is it serious?
8,
Does he need to make another appointment?
9,
Do they want to wait in the waiting room?
10.
Do we pay now or later?
Exercise 35, page 22. Example. You will hear, you look hot and tired. Are you thirsty? You will choose A. Yes, I am. 1,
We have a few minutes before we need to leave. Do you want a cup of coffee?
2,
We need to leave. Are you ready?
3,
Look outside. Is it raining hard?
4,
Do we need to take an umbrella?
5,
Mr. Smith has his coat on. Is he leaving now?
6,
I'm looking for the office supplies. Are they in here?